it's really important to know, like you said, I'm going to eventually have a manager. Well, so I think where a lot of owners tend to fail with getting managers is they try to make like a duplicate copy of them, and it's never going to happen. You're never going to make another you. You can only make them be the best of their ability of what they can be. And once you realize that, then you really can expect you're going to get what what you come to expect. If you think that, oh, they're going to be me when I'm not here, you're going to be sadly mistaken. It just doesn't happen.
That's awesome you said that, because so I do have a manager now. I have a guy that I promoted to manager about 2 or 3 months ago, and he's doing pretty good. He's a young guy. He's got a great attitude. He's a go-getter. Anything I ask him to do, he's like, I got it. So he's definitely wants to, is moldable and everything. So, I'm bringing him from the bottom up. So I'm not bringing in a manager that has a lot of experience that have to pay more. I'm moving this guy from the bottom up. But that was one of the problems that I first encountered. It's funny you say that, is he was trying to be me. And I could start seeing it. And I was like, even my girlfriend even told me, she was like, he's trying to be you, Brian. And he was trying to do some of the things that I would do, and trying to like, hey, I think you should do this, and trying to create ideas and stuff like this. And then his manager task, he was slipping on, you know what I mean? And then I was like, so I had to pull him in for a meeting, and I told him, I said, hey, I'm not gonna say his name. I was like, let me redirect you a little bit. I was like, I appreciate, and I said, I don't need another me. There's not room for another me. I already take care of that job. I take care of that job. What I do, I need you to shift and be this way. You know what I mean? Because at the time I had my girlfriend in here helping a lot, because she's got a lot of experience managing and facilitating things. So she was kind of coming in here, kind of helping out a little bit as sort of like a consultant would, you know what I mean? And I was like, I need you to be like Melissa, not me. And because she's doing what I need you to do. So it's kind of like I had to recognize that and really shift him. And he's like, okay, because you're right. He thought he needed to be me.
Yeah. It doesn't happen. It can't happen.
No, that's my job. That's what I do. That job's not available. You know what I mean? Not to mention that's what I do. So I need you to be my counterpart. Yeah. And to basically enforce, you need to enforce the procedures that I put into effect, and then do that side of the house. You know what I mean? But it's true. It's funny you say that, because it's kind of like they automatically think they need to be you.
Yeah. So did you have any other questions, Natalia? Because I was curious about like the social media aspect. I know we brought up TikTok and Instagram, but is there one that you really drive hard at that's always gets updated? And do you have your front desk girls, or do you do it?
No, so I run the social media completely. I run it. So like I said, I rely on other people to create the content, but I run it.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
I'm not ready to turn that over yet. One day I might, but I have to really trust that person, because man, that to me, that is so important, because that's where everybody looks. So I'm not ready to give that to somebody. You know what I mean? That's going to be a real trusted position when I say, okay, you now control the social media. Are you kidding me? Like so we built this gym on social media a lot. I'm not going to lie. We use that as our number one marketing tool. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's the way the world goes. It's 2023 right now. And I, especially as a business owner, it's a pretty big deal in my book, so I would definitely not, turn that over to somebody that I didn't, really think that they knew how to do it, and they had my vision, and they're willing to be my voice 100%. So I rely on other people to create the content. And I hire videographers. Now, a lot of times when I'm making the videos, it's either me talking, or I help direct sometimes if I have a vision on it, or other times I just let them say, hey, I need you to go find an inspirational story out there. Just find somebody and like do a cool video. You know what I mean? But I also pick the people. I pick the videographers, and I get to know them and stuff like that. But I post it, and I run it. So that just means I'm on it, and I just post it, and that kind of stuff.
I know some gyms have rules where they're like, oh, you can't film. But I mean, like you just said, it's 2023. Everybody's on Instagram. Everyone's on some type of social media. The people that did just get involved in the gym or have always been involved in the gym like to show their journey in working out, or maybe they have a channel that helps people work out. So do you have a designated space in your gym where you allow people to film themselves working out? And would you, as a new owner, if they're watching this, would you tell somebody, yes, 100% allow that because it's free marketing when you have, your gym name all over the place?
That's what I would do. I mean, the truth of the matter is you legally, you can video somebody anywhere out there. Like people, that's how paparazzi does it. I mean, I can actually stand in front of you and video you.
Sure.
And, it's legal. You can't video people in the bathrooms and stuff like that. So, as far as I understand it, there's, I can, in my business, I could set a no video policy. I absolutely could. I can do that. But I haven't, and because I think that most people are okay with it. I mean, nobody's like videoing you. I mean, if it became a problem, like where people were videoing other people against their will, but nobody really does that. I did have that problem one time with a guy that was being a creep. You know what I mean? And he was like videoing like girls and stuff like that. And then the females came up and told me. And so, I did put on my rules, some stuff about, being respectful of others and all this kind of stuff. And then I personally address it. So then I personally, anytime there's an altercation in the gym, or somebody who feels like they've been, someone's creeping them out or something like that, or there's a fight or a possibility, I take care of that personally. So I meet with that person and I let them know real quick that ain't going to happen in here. And here's your one warning. And if it happens again, I'm going to kick you out. Plain and simple. So, and I do that. We had a fight in here the other day too, actually. Matter of fact, it didn't turn into a fight, but I turned into a push and shove. And I suspended him, and I said, "Look, you're not going to fight in my gym." I said, "You can do anything you want, not in the parking lot, but because that's my gym too. But I do personally take care of those matters. You know what I mean? And I call them personally, and I tell them to come meet me up here, and I take that real seriously, especially the girls in the gym. Those are my highest priority, to make sure that females feel comfortable. So if you're a creep, if you're a guy that's a creep, I will kick you out. So straight up. And I'll tell the guy that, I'll be like, look, I'm not going to have a gym full of nothing but guys because you're being a creep. Like straight up, I'm not going to do it. So you can either learn to be like, socially okay and not be a creep, or else I will cancel your membership. I hope you understand that.
That's awesome. So the whole gym's fair game if I wanted to record my whole workout. Yeah, that's why I was just asking is like, would you designate just like an area that doesn't have mirrors that you can film at, or the whole gym's fair game?
No, the whole gym's fair game. Yeah. And then, like I said, if you're being a creep, we'll identify that. We have complaint forms. Anybody has a complaint, fill out a form. So I have it documented. And if I've got a member that's got two or three, usually the weirdos they'll get flagged. They don't blend in too long. You know what I mean? They kind of identify themselves like, hey, I'm a problem, eventually, because you'll have a couple complaints. And I think every gym owner, you already know this, that's just part of the game. You're going to have some weirdos. You're going to have some creeps. You're going to have people that are just a-holes, and you know what I mean? But I tell you what, I've been pretty successful at either curtailing them, or sometimes I had a guy one time who got in a fight with his girlfriend here, and I could have just completely kicked him out. But I actually pulled him in my office. I said, bro, check it out. I said, I get it, man. I've been in relationships where, it can get a little bit argumentative and everybody's heated. I said, but you can't do that in my gym, bro. I said, that's the thing. I said, you can't do it in here. I said, and if so I need you to chill out on this. And I need you to not be going up to every girl, asking her for a phone number and stuff like that, because you're making her feel uncomfortable, man. And I was like, I get it. We got a lot of pretty girls in here. Trust me. If I was single, I'd probably want to be talking to them all too. But you're making them feel uncomfortable, man. So that's not working for you. So I need you to like come in here and just like work out. I was like, do you want to work out here still? And because if he was like, he didn't really care, I'd be like, okay, well, let's just go our separate ways now. But he was like, no, man, I really love this gym like this. I was like, cool. So I don't want to take that away from you, man. I love it. I like you personally. Like, I think you're a cool dude. Like I do. But I think that you're making a lot of people feel comfortable. So uncomfortable. So like, and so I just kind of like got on his level, and you know what? He's never caused me any problems since, and I've done the same thing with like kids like that. I had a kid steal from me one time, and I did the same thing. And I put him in the office. I said, "Hey," I said, "why would you steal from me?" I said, I'm a person, man, that owns this business, and you're stealing from me, why would you do that, and I got just personal with him, and he's like, "Man, I just made a stupid mistake. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that." I said, "Okay." And so I made him square up with me, and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm going to put your name on the thing." I said, "I don't want to kick you out." I said, and I kind of gave him a second chance, and all my employees were like, "Don't do it, Brian. Don't do it, Brian. He stole this and this and that." And I said, "Well, I'm going to give him one more chance." And I did, and I never had a problem with him afterwards. I never had a problem with him. And it didn't happen every time. Sometimes I had a guy, you have your repeat offenders, and they just can't get it right. You know what I mean? Whatever. They're just bad apples, and they get kicked out. But most of the time, I try to stay in touch with what's going on out there, and then I try to talk to people and give them a chance to maybe curtail their behavior a little bit. And they get a chance from me. And I used to get a lot of flack from my employees, but I feel like 80% of them actually, after they got that talk, they actually changed their behavior, and they ended up being one of our biggest promoters for the gym.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. I had a guy who was an ex-Marine, and he claims all this PTSD and stuff like that, and he probably has it. And he was aggressive with other people. And then, and he's tried to start a fight in here, and we pulled him aside, me and my manager. And he was like, "Man, I haven't been able to find a gym that I've been able to fit in, and this and that." And, we kind of talked to him. We said, "Look, we had to be tough with him too. We said, look, that ain't going to fly. You can't, you cannot do that here. There will be no aggression here, and blah, blah, blah." And man, now he's like totally cool. He's never had any problems. And he's like one of my biggest like promoters. He posts the gym, he promotes the gym and all that stuff,
Well, you didn't just kick him out, because if a lot of people would have just kicked him out, but you know what that would do? A guy like that, he would have spent the next week probably just going online and trashing you on Facebook or Yelp or something like that. So the fact that you gave him a second chance and he did, do it, he's now, you're, like you said, promoting the gym.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if he breaks that second chance, then I do have to kick him out. I do got to follow him. That is that thing that because I remember in the beginning, I used to I'd kind of stress of it. Oh God, I got to deal with this, because nobody wants to deal with that. It's very confrontational. You got to, kick out a member, stuff like that. And so I have to force myself to do it. Now I'm pretty comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Because I've dealt with it. So it's like anything you do, you're going to get more comfortable with it. You're going to get better at it. You know what I mean? You just have to do it. It's like public speaking, right? You're afraid of it, but the more you do it, the better, more you're comfortable with it. I used to be nervous about getting in front of the camera and talking about the gym. Now I love it. I'm good at it. But it's like you just got to force yourself to do it. So that is part of gym ownership. And that is you're going to have to handle the problem people. You're going to have them.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say is your most difficult situation that you've had to deal with, talking to like an issue that has come up that you had to deal with, and how did you deal with it?
Plus, I have dreadlocks and tattoos, so if I just come at them crazy sometimes. Like, look, bro, don't be acting crazy, man. You know what I mean? And I have big bodybuilders too that work out here, and if I feel like I need one of them to talk to somebody with them,
free security.
We'll get a little gangster on you if we have to.